Alright, hi there guys, this is O the Humanity, and we are going to be playing some Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition today. And there comes a point in every young man's life when he has to kill some giant toads. So we're going to do that. Let's buy some red orb items, purple orb. Always go purple orbs first. And we're out of money, so can't buy anything else. We pretty much got everything we need from the Yamato to look cool and have fun doing that, other than Judgment Cut End. And then we're going to definitely pick up Starfall is fun, because it explodes essentially, level 2 explodes, so you can knock enemies up into there. But I think today we're going to get Stinger 2, and that's going to help us with kind of an air combo that we'll do later, and so... Essentially, Stinger 2, for some reason, you notice it a lot more when you're devil triggered than when you're normal. So Starfall 2, definitely pick that up. We do want to get Beast Uppercut soon, but we don't have any orbs left, so we're going to just leave it as it is and go on. But yes, I'm going to be talking about the story today. As convoluted as that is, we'll start with Vergil's kind of just the different aspects of Vergil's story, and then just move on from there, so it shouldn't be too bad. It is a little bit different here, so as Vergil, you actually just punch these things, and then if you want the blades to spin faster, and then to be able to move them a lot easier, essentially you just shoot your swords at it, so not too big of a deal there. Alright, now for the lore, which there isn't really that much of. And if you listen to the first episode, that kind of summarizes it. But there is, a lot more to it as well, which sounds kind of weird since I just said there wasn't that much. But anyways, without further ado, here's kind of the story. So in the novel, Devil May Cry Deadly Fortune, essentially there's a couple different visions of Vergil by a couple different people. So we'll just go through it step by step, and you'll understand where I got, what I got, and how I got it. And it'll make a lot of sense. So essentially the first vision of Vergil is by Nero. And it happens right after Mission 5, I think it is, where Nero gets Yamato. So he gets Yamato and he blacks out essentially. And he has this vision of Vergil. Now it says an unknown character, but it's obvious, it's Vergil. And essentially... Vergil says, "What is your soul crying out for?" And Nero's like, "I don't know, man. What's your soul crying out for?" And Vergil's like, "I need power. I need more power." And that's his answers. And Nero comes out of his vision, Yamato snaps together, and he gets his devil trigger. All in the blink of an eye. Just like it should happen. But yeah, so that's the first vision. And the second vision is really more of a sighting than a vision. And essentially what happens is the Pope, we're just going to call him the Pope. His real name is Sanctus, but we're going to call him the Pope because it's just a lot easier. And, it's a lot more memorable. You remember the character as the Pope because he looks like the Pope. But at the time, there was another Pope, and he was Solomonus, I think. It's not a very good pronunciation of that. Anyway, Sanctus was all but giving up on becoming the Pope. So he decided to do what any rational man would do in his case, of course, and that's poison Solomonus. So it took 2 years, but over the course he managed to kill him and become Pope. And this does tie into Vergil in just a second. And like all normal popes, once you become Pope, you have to rest in the top of the castle. Fortuna Castle, which is the city we're in. And essentially that's where Sparta was thought to have been. And the whole town's about Sparta. It's a statue of Sparta, there's all sorts of things about Sparta. We'll get into that in a minute. But, so the Pope's resting there in this bed that was thought to be Sparta because he's supposed to inherit the noble soul. Which you can take to mean whatever. Because we'll see a cutscene later where essentially, yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about it when it happens. But... so he's there, and he hears a noise, like someone in the room. Well, he hears someone in the room. And so he does what any rational old man would do, and he prepares to kill the intruder, whoever they may be. Of course, he then sees Vergil and realizes from his aura that he stands absolutely no chance of victory. And so he's like, oh, well, dang. And so Vergil tells him that he was just tracing Sparta's footsteps. And then he goes right for the window. And Sanctus, or the Pope, is like, wait, stop. I want to talk to you more. And so Vergil stops and he says, I don't mind that you pray to Sparta as a god, but do think clearly of this. One day I will surpass that god, and when the time comes, who will you worship? The one who was once a god, or the son who exceeded him? And then he jumps through the window, of course, and runs off into the villages, because what else would Vergil do? So anyways, how this applies to the story of the prostitute and everything is that then he goes on to tell Nero, he goes on to tell Nero, Mr. Pope Man goes on to tell Nero, hey, you're the son of a prostitute and Vergil, and that's how I came to know that. And so that's kind of all we gotta go on, and it seems like the introductory cutscene says that as well, since there's a random village woman who looks back at you, and you're made to assume that that's the woman that Vergil slept with. And that made Nero. But in the story, Nero's actually not that convinced. So, maybe there's a better story as to Nero's kind of how that happened. But, whatever. That's kind of that entire story. And yeah, so that's essentially all we know of Vergil from the book. And that's how we get the whole story where he slept with a prostitute and whatnot. So yeah, alright, I think in the next episode we're going to focus more on just different mechanics and stuff as well. You saw me doing a kind of, one thing you can do is if you have level 2 Stinger, or if you even have level 1 Stinger, as long as you launch the enemy into the air, so if you take them into the air with high time, and then you switch to Yamato, and so you're going to do your rising combo, or whatever it's called, where essentially, Y, pause, Y, to launch them even higher into the air. And then you want to shoot them with swords so they stay where they are. You want them as high as possible. You let yourself drop, and then if you devil trigger as you're doing that, and use switch to force edge, which is just, double switching, or you can switch backwards, either way, whichever you prefer, then use Force Edge's Stinger underneath the enemy and then teleport back up to them with Trick. And then switch back to Yamato, which is just hitting X again. And then you can just keep on going and having fun that way. That's one interesting thing you can do. It does take a lot of practice, but it's totally worth it because it looks awesome. And you can do just a ton of different things with that. I'm thinking about making kind of a training video on how to use cheat engine / tables to set up kind of enemies with infinite health, and just how to practice with that in case anyone's interested in that. But yes. Because essentially you can download a trainer and it will make the enemies have infinite health and no one takes damage, and you can have infinite devil trigger just to practice kind of different combos and stuff and get good at it. It's really helpful for things that have to do with devil trigger, because you can pretty much learn all the other combos as you play through the game and have fun, but kind of after you're done with the game and you want to kind of go back and learn some different things and, make it look cooler, then that's when I'd recommend using it. Because, if you're just playing through the game for the first time, just enjoy it. Don't even bother with any of the stuff I'm talking about right now, except, what I talked about previous to talking about cheat engine. So here's the boss battle, and I'm just going to go through the boss strategy. So essentially when you're fighting these chicks, all you want to do is rapid slash and then trick. Rapid slash trick, because you're essentially invincible while you're doing that. And then go to Beowulf and just start going crazy on him. Use your devil trigger as much as possible. You'll get him down in no time at all. It's just, you do so much damage, it's crazy. And then, just keep using your swords and rapid slash trick, and you'll just get right through these kind of maidens, and then it's just easy from there. Just it's basic strategy. If you have Judgment Cut End by now, definitely use that to, finish off the boss. But otherwise, what you can do is just knock him down. If you somehow, because we don't have it yet, but if you have Beast Uppercut and the second form of Beast Uppercut, because you need the second upgrade to be able to charge it, if you do have that, you can charge it and then activate Devil Trigger the moment that your fist hits the enemy, and it will do a ridiculous amount of damage. So you can do that. And that's true of any ability, really. You can distort the abilities by activating Devil Trigger the moment that you hit the enemy, and it will kind of hit them twice. And you can actually double distort on certain things, so it's very interesting. But I'm going to sign off for now, so see you guys next time. We'll have a lot of fun.